A dog is waiting behind a rescue fence near Nashville, Tennessee. On the surface, this looks like the beginning of a second chance. There is a rescue name, there is a website, there are donation pages, there is a social media presence full of the language people want to hear: safety, compassion, sanctuary, forever homes. People see those words and they open their hearts. They share posts, they send money. They believe an animal has landed in the hands of people who will protect it. And inside the fences, the dogs are supposed to be safe. But the dogs at this rescue are not waiting to be adopted. They are waiting to be saved from the rescue itself. The place, calling itself Canine Rescue and Sanctuary, appears at a distance like a non-profit animal sanctuary. But investigators say a different reality is hidden behind that appearance. A reality of filthy enclosures, accumulated waste, illness, hunger, and animals left without the care that a real rescue promises. 47 animals are eventually found connected to the property in Cheatham County. Dogs, chickens, turkeys, a pig, animals who were supposed to have been given refuge. Instead, many are living in conditions no animal should have to endure. This is Last Chance Rescue. If stories of animals who need a real voice matter to you, subscribe now, because sometimes the most dangerous place is the one that calls itself safe. The story begins with trust. The couple who run Canine build the outward image of a rescue. Their online presence makes it easy for a stranger to assume that donations are helping dogs recover, eat, receive medical attention, and find homes. A website can look official. A donation button can look convincing. A rescue name can sound like a promise. For people desperate to help animals, that promise matters. They may be looking at a photo of a dog and imagining a warm bed, clean water, treatment for an injury, and a family somewhere ahead. But an animal cannot read a website. An animal only knows the ground beneath its paws, the air it has to breathe, whether there is water in the bowl, whether someone responds when pain begins, whether the gate opens. At the Cheatham County property, reports begin to pile up. The concern is serious enough that the Cheatham County Sheriff Office asks Animal Rescue Corps for help. Animal Rescue Corps, known as ARC, is a national nonprofit that responds when animals are in crisis. The operation gets a name that captures the betrayal at the center of this case: Operation Money Trail. It is a search for the animals behind the fundraising image, for the truth behind the rescue label. When responders arrive on August 11, 2026, the label does not match what they find. Across the property are dirty pens, littered with debris and feces. Inside a residence, some animals are kept where urine has built up so heavily that the ammonia in the air has become dangerous. In another area, animals are confined in conditions that show how far the promise of sanctuary has fallen. There are 47 animals in all. 37 are dogs. 6 of those dogs are nursing puppies, still dependent on their mothers and on the simplest necessities of life: clean shelter, nourishment, room to rest, and someone watching over them. Some of the dogs are dehydrated. Some are dangerously underweight. Some have ear infections and eye infections. Others are suffering from internal parasites, ringworm, or respiratory complications linked to ammonia exposure. These are not dramatic details meant to shock. They are signs of needs left unanswered. A thirsty dog, a thin dog, an infected eye, a puppy depending on a mother who is also struggling. Each one is an animal who has no way to leave on its own.
Imagine the cruel confusion of that. The gate has a rescue name on it. The public sees a sanctuary. Donations may be coming in from people who believe they're making a difference, but the animals inside are still waiting for relief. A rescue is supposed to be the place where suffering ends. Here, according to the allegations and the response teams who enter the property, it is where suffering has been allowed to continue. The chickens, turkeys, and pig are part of that same broken promise. They are not background to the story. They, too, are living beings placed in the care of people who present themselves as protectors. And while the public sees the appearance of an organization, rescuers see the cost of what happened behind closed doors. The truth does not stay in Tennessee. Investigators also trace concerns to a rented home in Georgia. The home is rented in June 2026. There, dozens more dogs are reported in filthy conditions with very little airflow. The details are devastating without needing to be graphic. One puppy starves to death from neglect. Another dog loses an eye after not receiving necessary medical care. Those two outcomes reveal the urgency of every dog still trapped there. Medical problems do not wait for a better day. Hunger does not wait for a promise. In a real rescue, an animal in distress is noticed, treated, and protected. In a place where care fails, every hour can matter. For the dogs still alive, someone has to make the decision that they cannot make for themselves. Someone has to come. And then the reversal begins. The rescue that claimed to save animals is confronted by real rescuers. Animal Rescue Corps launches Operation Money Trail and removes 47 animals from the Tennessee property. The animals who were confined in a supposed sanctuary are brought out into the care they were meant to have all along. The moment is bigger than a single gate opening. It is the end of one reality and the start of another. For a dog that has lived with dirty surroundings and too little care, rescue can begin with basic things that should never have been missing: fresh water, a clean space, food, veterinary attention, gentle handling, and air that does not hurt to breathe. For the nursing puppies, it means a chance to grow in safety. For the dogs with infections and parasites, it means that someone can finally assess what is wrong and begin treatment. For every animal removed, it means the rescue label no longer has power over the truth. If you believe real rescue means action, accountability, and a safe place for animals to heal, subscribe to Last Chance Rescue. These animals did not need another promise. They needed people willing to show up. Operation Money Trail does exactly that. The name matters. It recognizes the gap between what people may have believed they were supporting and what investigators say animals were enduring. It asks a question that every donor deserves to ask. When we give to help an animal, how do we know help is really reaching that animal? The answer is not always simple. Small rescues often do life-saving work with too few resources and too much need. A professional website or active social media page alone does not prove misconduct. But neither does it prove that every animal is safe. Real accountability has to live beyond the screen. It can look like transparent veterinary records, clear adoption policies, responsible capacity limits, open communication, trusted local partners, evidence that animals are receiving food, sanitation, treatment, and humane daily care. Most of all, it looks at the animals. Are they healthy? Are they clean? Are their injuries treated? Do they have space, water, airflow, and a future? A rescue cannot be measured by its logo. It has to be measured by the condition of the lives inside it.
After the removal, law enforcement takes action. The man in the couple is arrested at the Georgia home. The woman who ran the rescue is later arrested by Nashville Metro Police. Both face aggravated animal cruelty charges, along with 16 additional animal cruelty charges. Charges are allegations, and the legal process will determine responsibility in court. But the intervention has already changed the immediate fate of the animals. They're no longer left inside the conditions that prompted the rescue operation. They're safe. They're in real care. That phrase can sound small, safe, real care. But for an animal who has been waiting in a dirty pen, fighting dehydration, or living with untreated illness, those words mean everything. Safe means a bowl is filled before thirst becomes desperation. Safe means an eye infection is seen and treated. Safe means a mother can nurse her puppies without struggling through neglect. Safe means the air is breathable. Safe means a dog is no longer defined by the worst place it has survived. There is a final warning in this story, and it comes from Julie Robertson, Vice President of Georgia Animal Rights and Protection. She says, "The appearance of a website means nothing." It is a hard sentence, but an important one. The people who donate to animal causes are often acting from kindness. They see an urgent post. They want to save a life. They may never imagine that their goodwill could be drawn toward a place where animals are not receiving the care they deserve. That is why asking questions is not cynicism. It is protection. Before donating, look for transparency. Ask local shelters, veterinarians, rescue partners, and past adopters about an organization. Check whether the group explains how animals are housed, treated, and placed. Pay attention when concerns are raised, and when possible, support organizations that welcome accountability rather than hiding from it. Because animals do not get to choose the people who claim them. They depend on us to look closer. In Cheatham County, 47 animals who were supposed to be rescued are finally removed by people who came to help. Dogs, chickens, turkeys, and a pig are taken out of the conditions that had failed them. The dogs who were suffering are no longer invisible behind a rescue name. The puppies have a chance. The sick animals have a path to care. The couple who ran the operation are arrested and face charges. This is the reversal that matters. The rescuers arrive and the animals leave. If you want more true stories where compassion becomes action, subscribe to Last Chance Rescue. Share this story with someone who loves animals. And remember the warning from Julie Robertson. A website may make a promise, but the animals tell the truth.